Warning, explicit content. This material may not be suitable for children. Listener discretion is advised.
All right, what's up, Knuckleheads? Welcome to Mining Minds. Got Nathan Trujillo sitting here at the face with us. Brent Adams, I had to escort him in here tonight. He was nervous to do it by himself, so we're glad to have you too, Brent.
Glad to be here.
So Brent was with us last week. He's a contractor out of the Elko area. Nate's out of the Ely area, let's say, huh?
Ely area, yes.
What do you do out there, Nate?
I'm a surface miner.
All right, so what do you do in the surface mine?
Maybe we should take a step back real quick.
This is going well. You
No.
think we should go a completely different direction?
No, I definitely want to find out about Nate. Obviously, we're all in the mining industry at this point, but I guess how did you get there? What did you do before the mining industry? What got you into the mining?
Just an FYI, this is how Brent's conversation started.
What got you into the mining industry, and where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? That's really what we're looking for.
Well, about 96, I ended up doing some summer work in the mining industry. I ended up working in the crusher. Spent a couple summers there doing mining. After that, I went to a couple years of junior college, and then ended up in Las Vegas for about 12 years doing construction. Did a lot of underground utilities there, and once the economy dried up down there, I ended up back in Ely, where the whole cycle started, working back at a mine there.
Let me ask you this. You said you were in Southern California? What did you do down in Southern California?
That's irrelevant.
Played a lot of ball?
No, I played a little bit of baseball. Went to a little bit of class. Very little class. But
Did you enjoy it?
Absolutely. Those are the best times of your life other than high school that you don't get back, so you need to enjoy them.
Then that was my point. So born and raised in Ely, you got out of Ely for a little bit, got to experience a little bit of the Southern California life, and then ultimately, like a lot of us, came back to our roots, right? I think that's pretty consistent with majority of us in here. We went away, we came back to what we know best and what's provided for the families that we have now.
I would even say the same thing about the people that we podcasted with, right? Melissa this morning, talking to her, she's first generation miner, but before that, mining with the people that we've podcasted with to this point, it's almost like that's what happens is you come back to your roots. And I guess the moral of the story that we get from everybody is it's about the people, and it's about what does mining do for you, and it's always been the money, right? It's like mining pays huge amounts of money for us. So is that what you're finding for yourself? I mean, is that why you came back to Ely? Is that why you're in the mines? Is it just because of the money, or is it what else you got going?
No, money has a lot to do with everything that drives everybody's career, right, is the money. But it's also the challenge. There's a different challenge. That's one of the biggest things. And construction-based career, you do the same thing every day. And yes, mining's very similar. You do the same thing every day, but there's always different challenges, whether it's slope structures, whether it's, dewatering issues. It varies. So that's one of the biggest things.
Did you come back to mining as an operator? I mean, how did you get back into mining? What did you do when you got into mining? Because I don't know the story.
I actually did. I took what knowledge and equipment learnings I had in the construction field, and I'm sure it's very similar to every other mining place that you start off as a truck driver in some circumstances, right? Because that's what runs the materials of trucks. Yeah. And so I did come back as an operator and started off in trucks, and I knew where I wanted to go when I started. It was Supervisor career path, and it took me about 6 months to go through the trucks and realize that some people enjoy that, and it wasn't for me.
So you've always been focused on that supervisory path. So when you got to the mines, and I think it's the same for a lot of guys that are driven when they get to the mine sites. There's a ton of opportunity when it comes down to it, and it's about the guys that are driven that say, hey, it's only going to take me 6 months to get to where I want to get to, because I want these guys to have the vision of me. Of what I do for you and what I can do for you. I come to you with X amount of background. So my question talking about this is, how did you make that decision when you came to Ely and you thought, hey man, I'm back home, because it's got to be somewhat humbling going, hey, I left probably one of the best places that ever, Las Vegas, Nevada, right? Had an awesome opportunity down there, but things kind of broke up as far as the workload. Work just dried up, like you said, and I went through something similar, except I was up in the Reno area. The work dried up. I shot up to northern Nevada. You shot up to northeastern Nevada. We're doing similar things, but I don't know. How's it driving you now?
Well, I mean, there's one thing that I think any of us could have ever learned from California, right? And you guys have been there. Is I think old Tupac said it best himself, right? You gotta enjoy the California love.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say live and die in LA. I was like, damn.
No, I haven't got to that point yet. But the California love, right?
Yep.
But then you come back and you see that side and you have fun, but you come to a certain point, right, where it's all about me.
Yeah.
And that's where it is. I knew where I was when I left Las Vegas. I knew where my career path was. I knew what I had to do to get my foot in the door, and I knew what path I wanted to take.
So is it all about the money?
Absolutely not. You got to enjoy what you do, and you have to do it for all the right reasons. And one of the biggest pieces for me is the people that I work with, the relationships I've built. You know, whether it's, you know, even Brent, right, a contractor that I work with, probably one of my best friends right now. But it's also the employees that work with me and watching what they put in on a day-to-day basis, and that's the appreciating factor that drives everything that I do.
That's my question for you, dude. I know Nate. Nate's my uncle. Good dude. Been through good times, been through bad times. As a supervisor, how do you deal with that? You see a knucklehead come in, like myself, young punk, trying to do good, maybe not doing the right things. How do you, as a supervisor, guide those guys? And maybe what don't they see that you're trying to do for them? You know what I mean?
But it's just first of all, you have to make them understand that you are there to help them, and you're there to coach to improve people. You know, that's what retention is, right? And how you get longevity out of your employees, and how you get people and your company to be successful is by coaching to improve your employees. If you don't invest the time in your employees and you don't take that time to work with them, regardless through bad decisions, good decisions, nobody's ever going to improve from that. And that's one of the biggest things that drives me, is I like to see and be a part of that success in all my employees, and that's a rewarding piece for me.
So you see a knucklehead like myself come in, dude, and you go, man, this guy's got a lot of potential, but he's got an attitude on him. He's pissed off. He won't listen. He won't drive in this truck, whatever the case may be. What's the steps that you do to help me out?
You're fired.
You know how it's thrown out to me.
I like it.
No, absolutely not. But you know, it's continuous coaching sessions, right? That's how you learn. And it's probably not the best comparison, but it's.
All of us are shitheads at once.
Yeah,
In my opinion.
And I wasn't gonna go there, but yes, it's very similar, right? It is, and I even have these same discussions from a disciplinary standpoint. Is things happen, right? You got to learn from them, just like mistakes in life. You take what's handed to you and you learn from them and you improve. And if you don't, that's a decision that you make.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can't have something happen today and then you don't come back on shift till next Friday and then you get spanked for it. That's no different than your kids. You know, if you're going to make the bad decision today, you have to learn from it today. You can't wait till a week later and then learn from it. You don't benefit anything from there.
I think that's one of the areas that we've really made some improvements in as an industry, even crossing over to construction and the rest of it, is where it's more like, hey, we're here to coach and to make people want to be better themselves, right? And it's not coming from a condescending place to say that it's comparable to parenthood, because it really is. And anybody that's found themselves in that role, you're literally responsible for people's safety, for the production of the job, and a lot of, budgets. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that. Lives, exactly.
Well, and that's a good point. But here's a cool rabbit hole that I guess probably where I'm going to go down. As a parent, we don't even know that we're doing the right thing, right? So as a supervisor, and I answered my own question. You know what you're doing because of the guidance you've gotten from your organization. But you don't have that guidance as a parent, right? Your parent, you're kind of shooting from the hip, going, this is the shitty things in my life that I tried to improve on, and I'm trying to improve on your life, and the good things that I would like for you to see.
Well, we've learned that. You are just learning that right now.
We're just trying not to mess them up too bad before we kick them out of the house, right? It's like,
That's it. But as a supervisor, you do have that guidance. And so for your company, you feel like you have that support and those people above you that are really going, Nate, we believe in what you're doing.
Absolutely, 100%.
Cool.
I think that, honestly, just watching your career path, you and John, and you can probably attest to this, watching you guys in that atmosphere, seeing you guys succeed, and watching you guys succeed when you were in Las Vegas with the construction outfits that we worked for, right? You guys succeeded there. You brought that up to the mining industry, and you guys are killing it right now, right? You're holding awesome careers right now. You work for a great company. You work for great people, and so what do you do I guess one of the questions I wanted to ask you is, how do you sustain that? Because me personally, I look at you and John as somewhat of mentors. Like, hey man, these guys got it figured out, right? How do I look at these guys and kind of mold myself after what you guys do? And how do you sustain it?
Well, first of all, I appreciate that, but I also look at the people that I work with as mentors myself, right? Because there's always things that I can learn on a day-to-day basis and that I continue to learn. It only benefits me in the long run. But the biggest piece to sustaining is maintaining that involvement in the day-to-day process, making sure that you have your hands wrapped around everything that's going on. As yes, I may just work solely in operations, but I'm working with environmental, I'm working with geology, I got my hand in every bucket, and it's being able to have that, I guess, adverse approach to work with any internal department or contractor at any given time and maintain those relationships that really helps your personal growth and has helped me maintain and sustain that all along.
Dude, and I'll tell you right now, that's probably the one thing I miss about operations the most is the action. Because you're dealing with engineers, environmental, safety and health. You guys are asked.
Contractors.
Well, we're still waiting for him to show up here at the podcast, but come in, Brent. You there?
You guys should shut up for a minute. I'll jump in.
But you know what, man? It's awesome because it's a cool dynamic. When you're at the face, there's no more action. Like, running cable was a perfect example. You manage those shovels. If you fuck that up, the whole downstream process was affected by it, right? You are the highlight. You're the prom queen at that point.
Well, you got to know the dig plan, right? And
you're the prom queen that can't dance.
That's right.
You're absolutely 100% correct.
Dude, and that, to me, that's fun. And so when I had when I took a step away from that, I'm like, where's the action? This shit is not as fast paced. This shit isn't as fun. And so you live to kind of get back into that production phase, right? Or that mentality of go, hustle. We're going to dominate A crew, B crew, C crew, yada. And that shit happens. But at the end of the day, you do miss it. From my perspective, I miss chasing the tons, man. That's just real reality of it.
Well, I think that's one of the biggest things for me that's been trying for me, is because I've had to take myself out of that seat of being the doer, right? And I have to rely on my supervisor team to make sure that they're hitting targets, they're meeting deliverables, they're coaching their employees, and that's been the toughest piece for me, is sitting back, because I've always been the go-to, right? I've always been I'll take care of it. I'll go out and get this project handed over.
You know you can do it by yourself, or you want to take it all on by yourself. And the position I'm in as well, I feel the same way. When you have to back up and you have to let somebody be more involved than you are, right? And you're just giving them guidance, and you don't want to overmanage or what some classify as micromanage, but you want to give them enough guidance to where you feel like you're giving them the best. And for me, I honestly,
their personal growth,
right? But that's where I feel like it's almost like talking to my kids a little bit, because you're coaching them through, and I don't look at it as like scolding. I just coaching, right? Like, these are the best things that we can do as a business.
You even take away the things in the way you talk to your employees or the people that are working for you. You take that back and approach your kids differently, because you sit down and have that conversation with them.
Right.
Instead of sometimes throwing the hammer down, sometimes now it's more of a conversation with them, and it's more of a, hey man, have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? Instead of, do it this way, stupid.
Yeah, and I think especially dealing with people at work, it's a little bit different.
To the show, Brent Adams. Brent,
Glad to be here. Thank you.
for showing up.
But I think that's a great, and one thing I noticed about Nate is he's very engaged and he's involved in, I'm sure, I'm not speaking for Nate, but I know from my perspective, you kind of got to coach everybody different. I know all my kids were different, and you got to stay engaged, you got to communicate with people, see what their hot buttons are and how you can motivate them, and it's a little bit different with everybody. But I noticed with Nate, he's very engaged, communicates well with everybody, and he likes to stay on top of his business. It's good.
The mining industry is so it's so small. We talk about obviously we have friends that are friends of, and we all work in different aspects of the industry, right? Sometimes there's those gray areas like, hey man, this guy's my best friend, but he does this for the mining industry. He might be a contractor or whatever it's called. So when it comes to that, how do you guys manage that process? Because these small towns, you can't get away from it.
Well, let me ask this: how is firing a friend?
Thank you. That's where I was headed.
You know what? And here, I've been fortunate enough I haven't recently been in that situation, right? But I've had to do it in my past, and you have to have those conversations up front. You have to be on that same.
You gotta be honest from the get-go.
Absolutely, right? Because at the end of the day, regardless if you're in construction, you're in mining, you have a business. You have a business to run, and that's what you're expected to do. And if you're the boss, you're the project manager, regardless of what your label is, right? If you have friends that work for you, you have to have those conversations up front. That outside of work is outside of work, and inside the fences is business related. Right. And if they can't meet the expectations, then they're no different than anybody else. And if they are true friends, they are going to understand and respect you for the position that you have.
Well, and I think the older that you get, and you can probably, Chris, you can probably attest to this. Brent, you can probably.
Chris is old as shit.
No, I just think as you.
75, Chris?
No, I just think as you. I just think as you get put in different situations throughout your career, and you being in the mine rescue end of it, you're put in a lot different situations to where you got to think on your feet. You've got to be solid when it comes to the communication, right? To where I guess what I'm trying to say is the older you get and when you become that manager, you take a whole lot of stress off your shoulders when you go, you know what, man, I'm just going to be honest from the get-go, because I'm not trying to be everybody's buddy at this point. What I'm trying to do is set the expectation, still want to be your friend, but hey, man, this is just how we have to operate this business. That way, at the end of the day, it makes those conversations easier. Right?
No, I absolutely do. So here's a good example. I'm now working at a place where it's more family oriented, like Ely, let's say, right? And
Uncle Dad shit going on.
Uncle Dad shit.
Right on.
Dude, I've never
Not Uncle Dad shit.
and Elko, it's different because everybody goes to work and then they go to Carlin, they go to Wells, they go to Elko, they go to Spring Creek. You don't have to deal with it. When you go to the grocery store, you're seeing the same person that you've had that conversation with. We had an incident the other day. We're doing an investigation. Didn't even know the dude that we're investigating is my next door neighbor, right? And so it's a different concept or different, you going like, holy shit, like I didn't put two and two together, but that's how close it is. And it's not that anything bad happened, right? Or not that anybody got in trouble, but the point of the whole thing is that it's that close to home. And sometimes you have to be able to be real with those guys and know, hey man, when I'm outside of work, I'll drink beers with you and talk some shit and we'll throw each other's kids' toys back over the fence and all that. But when we're at work, there's a certain level of shit talking that's got to stop, and that professionalism has to take place. And it's tough to separate that, especially in those small communities. So those that can do it well, fucking kudos to them, man.
Where we're at with the mining industry. A lot of these mines are remote. We visited with a lady this morning, Melissa, that she went to Germany for an internship, and the mine was right in the middle of town. I thought that was so intriguing. Where Nate's at this point is, what, 5 to 8 miles outside of town?
They are remote, but the mining community in a whole is so small.
Fucking tiny.
Like
The cool
Scotty C, right? He comes from up here, he ends up down there, and there's another one like Brent.
Scotty Cochran.
He's another one like Brent. He's a good dude. He will give you the shirt off his back, and that's just the kind of person he is.
Oh, yeah.
And there is those kind of people all throughout the mining industry.
Let me ask you this, dude. Who, and we talked to Brent a little bit about this, but who has influenced your career, your life, more than anybody else? I mean, personal, professional?
Honestly, my driver, even to this day, and it has always been my life, all my life, is my mother. She's taken all of us kids, and all 5 of us, and she's single-handedly raised every one of us, and we are who we are today, every one of us, because of her.
And I'm a little bit biased because I'm her grandchild, and
But I'm the favorite. so we're clear.
And at the end of the day, dude, that lady has more love than anybody I know. And I was curious because I thought it would be Grandma or your mom, but Brent's same concept, same boat. And I think you look at a lot of miners, and it's their parents, their dad, their mom, you know what I mean? And it's those family ties that you have there.
Well, and that's
Well, mine was Bon Jovi at one point.
Oh yeah, that's because you can't let go of the karaoke scene. But exactly, yeah, he lost what hairline he did have 15 years ago. But no, it also goes hand in hand, right, with the actual mining community. It is that family orientated, that those family values and beliefs that have been instilled in you as kids now today. That's who you work with. Right? Those are the people that you work with. You're with them some places 10 hours a day, some 12 hours a day. A lot of the times you see your work family more than you see your own family. And that's where it all lies, right? Is looking out for one another and making sure that you all go home safe at the end of the day.
So my question is, where Derek's at right now, they shower together at the end of the day, right? And that's how close they get. So in your line of work, do you guys shower with each other? At the end of the
Dino's
day?
fascinated with showering stories, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna do hashtag shower stories here shortly.
Yeah.
Because I've got a couple bad stories I got to get off my chest. So I just want to see if anybody else has.
There's people to go to. Dino goes to shower stories.
Yeah.
There's people to go to.
Yeah, if you're gonna resort to showering stories, maybe have them help you shave your chest. I don't know what.
We're gonna have to break out the teddy bear and figure out where they touched you.
No.
Open pit though. Your open pit.
Yeah, open pit.
Coal.
Copper.
All right. So what's different about copper than say these gold mines here? What are the struggles that you guys face?
I think we face a lot of the same struggles, from slope stability to, mineralization, different rock structures. I know that's one of our biggest things is different rock types, and structures, fault lines, so on and so forth.
What about mine life? I mean, when I was working just west of here, nice out by the way.
You still with us, Brent?
I've always been concerned with mine life. How does that look? How's that going to affect me and my family? How, what can I do to help, right?
Yeah, that's one thing that I think all of us could agree on as far as mining goes, right? You can't ever depend on mine life.
Right.
You can hope for the best, but expect the worst. That's how it goes. It's all based on commodities. But you do what you can do. I mean, we do exploratory drilling, and we have potential to extend our mine life just like everybody else is, but it's all commodity based.
The best thing about people in this room is at the end of the day, if shit hit the fan, we're still a needed resource. Meaning we still can go run equipment if we absolutely had to. Yeah. We can still go.
I've actually seen you run equipment. I probably stick to cable.
Fuck, dude. I run circles around you. I forgot about more work than you've done.
I was actually thinking about retirement jobs, and that's exactly what I thought was, what? I would just like to go run a scraper for somebody. Just 50 years old, go run a scraper in a nice Arizona, Las Vegas atmosphere to where it's just sit there and just kill it.
Yeah. I mean.
Oh, totally.
But that receding hairline, skin cancer is not good for you.
Yeah, I'll get some sunscreen, but that's my vision for me anyway.
Yeah.
Well, on the flip side of that, dude, is if you can't do, you can be a supervisor. Well, okay, so let's talk to Brent a little bit, because I'm curious. How is it working?
Hold on, let me go see if I can find him. Yeah, Brent, where are you at?
There he is.
Oh, there you are.
How is it working on the contractor side? Because you work closely with Nate. How is that?
Good. Yeah, it's good. Good communication. If there's an issue, I know about it. It's not something, he doesn't stew over it. He just brings it right to the table, and we sit down, chop it out, figure it out,
You guys ever have to flip the hats backwards and fucking get it for each other?
Arm wrestle a little bit?
Not at work. On the softball field.
These can't hang there either.
So let's talk about a little bit outside of the work game, right? Like, what, Nate, from your end, what do you do extracurricular to, one, maybe keep your family going, two, to stay engaged with Nathan Trujillo? What do you do? How did you say it earlier? A creative outlet?
Yeah, a creative outlet or some sort of outlet from outside of work. Really, I think one of the things that we have to be honest with ourselves is the fact that we need a work-life balance, right? How do you manage that?
Well, actually, I just invested.
Probably going to tie in with Dino's shower stories.
I just invested in a treadmill, actually. That's a creative outlet. No, actually, it is. I invested in a treadmill. It's actually a cat I've known for years. Bald-headed dude. Bald-headed dude I've known for years, and he hooked me into some motivational videos, and I check those out, and I run. I've never liked running, but I'll tell you what. You throw a motivational video in there, you can run until you fall off that thing. I haven't made it that far, but I've seen people do it. But the other thing I do, right, is like Brent, I work out. Yes, I work out and go play softball. Played softball for years. I've career to date probably. I'm probably at about 1,500 dingers. I don't like to brag, but
so if there's any managers of softball teams out there right now, he is on the table. We got the Bryce Harper of softball here, but he's got a blown out shoulder and 2 weak knees. Just so we know.
And one ball bigger than the other, but he'll fucking suit up.
Don't ever insult me, Bryce Harper. I got a better attitude than that. And now he got $330 million for a shitty attitude like that. It's goddamn ridiculous. But anyways,
hold on.
Back to the dinger story. I'm still waiting for Brent. I've only played 2 years with him, right? I'm still waiting for him to catch up. Right now, I'm about 45 ahead of him.
Well, he's a base hitter, that's why.
Well, he claims to be a dinger hitter, but he also states that, when I bat in front of him, it's not fair to him because he don't ever get a hit one.
What's funny is we just had Hazen on a couple weeks ago.
He leads the league in home runs. I lead the league in DBOs, dead ball outs. When I hit them, they don't count.
Well, it's interesting because minors, I think, love their softball. Dude, I honestly think that.
Yeah, I think it's everything.
Well, when I was a kid, we transitioned from.
You lost your tooth, remember?
We're gonna.
He did. He did lose his fucking tooth.
We're gonna talk specifically about.
He's getting serious. Look at him.
This was a big part of my my upbringing when I was a kid.
Tooth loss?
It was a huge culture shock. My mom and my stepdad at the time, they said, "Guess what? We're moving from Ely to Beatty." And the first thing that we did when we went to Beatty was we went to the softball park. And that's where I met like 3 lifetime friends. I've got guys that I've known for 30 years now, right? To where, yeah, it was huge for me. Softball to me is like, that's what it means to me is that family atmosphere. That's where you have those friendships, the values. I mean, all the stuff that comes along with it. We talk a bunch of shit about it, but for me, that's what it means. Is like, hey, man, our dad taught us that, hey, dude, this is a game right here that is gonna bring you into the next phase of your life.
Well, I just thought it was interesting because when Hazen was in here the last couple weeks or whatever it was, he talked shit on softball too. Like we gave him shit about grounding balls and this and that. Shut the fuck up. That was Dino. Jesus Christ, dude. Jesus.
We can edit that, huh?
You know we're in a goddamn room. We can't fucking get out of here.
Yeah, one of the other things too, from a extracurricular activity in the drivers for me, right, is actually as we were growing up, is we would, even from playing high school against each other to the softball field.
Fuck, Dino.
Right.
That smells, dude.
Let's take a 15er, huh?
Are you guys kidding me?
We got to get some ventilation in here, man.
Yeah, we take a cut, man. We come back to this. Why would you do that?
That's fucking disgusting.
You're a terrible person, Dino.
You're going to hell.
But no, are we still on?
Yeah, we're still going.
So that's one of the things. That was one of the drivers for me, right? Is watch this cat, this bald-headed cat, Dino, right? We'd play for years at a 350, 400-foot fence, and then watch him go to a softball field where he couldn't clear a 200-foot fence. I'm like, how shitty could you be? I never understood that. And it all started at an early age, right? I get a nice. I'm pitching.
No.
He's playing. Let me finish.
I know your story.
Well, nobody else does.
But I'm trying to tell you.
What?
I can't fucking hit a softball, dude, to save my goddamn life.
Oh, I know. I've seen that.
Yeah.
I can't help you with that.
I know.
But anyways, back to the other story. What I was saying.
Fucking 90-mile-an-hour fastball, wherever the fuck you want it. I just can't hit a fucking softball.
No, I call bullshit. I've seen you at the batting cages.
Yeah, fucking. We'll go to what's the one in Vegas? Scandia. Remember Scandia? Remember Scandia?
Miniature golf. We'll start off there.
Yeah. Fucking, I'll dominate you.
Yeah.
So Dino's got to come back. I think he went and shit it in his yard.
I hope so.
He might have just shook that out his pant leg.
Oh my god, that was disgusting.
Dude, why would you even do that?
I was rude.
You're in a confined space.
Yeah. We get an MX-6 in here to fucking.
What would possess you to do that?
You're gonna need a whole watch.
You don't even know.
You know, what happens when your belly hurts? Let's talk about that.
I don't know, but the
We were
weirdest thing
talking about
is
you getting your tooth knocked out.
the weirdest thing is
That was,
you standing up and walking out of here doing the hamster dance. I don't know if there's any comparison to what you did leaving here, but you probably shouldn't do that.
So did you guys get fully into the tooth knocked out type of deal or no?
No, we were fucking trying to breathe.
No, we're still worried about pink eye right now.
Right on. Well, you guys don't have to worry about pink eye. It's definitely got to be fecal matter.
Dude, and I think it's still lingering because when you walk back in here, you saturated something.
You're crop dusting.
So
That shit on your ass got some shit on its ass.
So
As you were saying,
there he was, 15 years old. Probably one of the most life-changing events for me.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
you ever see the
So
boxing
I was
movie?
playing.
Toothless Joe Jackson.
I was playing second base. Nate was pitching. He throws a pitch. This guy, I don't know if he did a swinging bunt.
I thought you guys were on different teams. At that
No,
time.
we were playing for the
No,
Met.
we went to different high schools together.
So anyway, he goes to cover the bunt up by home plate.
And I did.
I
I covered it.
I ran over to first base, and I'm stretched out, and the runner's coming towards me, and I see Nate throw the ball, and then after that, I didn't see anything.
At a smoking 93 miles an hour.
Well, yeah, maybe if you were 50 miles an hour. Yeah, shut up. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, all I remember is I dropped my glove. I ended up spitting my tooth out. I remember spitting my tooth out.
Yeah, I remember looking for it.
And it was like, what in the hell just happened?
You know what the funny part was I was like, I got a new glove.
Yeah, that's how Nate is. He doesn't care about anybody else other than himself. But so anyhow, I go into the bathroom. I look at myself and I realize I look like a fucking hockey player. It's not broken. It was my whole tooth. So they found my tooth on the field. They put it in a glass of milk, and
like that was the thing to do back then. Throw it in milk.
Yeah. Well, my dad, we're driving down Main Street in Ely at 20 miles an hour. No sense of urgency. Like, hey, I'm not getting pulled over for this bullshit, right? So we called the dentist. They pulled the tooth out of the milk, and this is no bullshit. They pulled the tooth out of the milk. He stuffed it back in the hole, and he grabbed my head and just squoze, and I could feel it snap.
Squoze.
I could feel it snap back in. What he did is he threw on what I classify as Bondo. It looked like I had fucking plaque for days.
Are you sure this was a dentist?
From this side, his name was Dr. Naylor. Yeah. Dr. Naylor. From this side to this side, it looked like I had one big tooth, like one fucking mouthpiece in, right? And I had to have that on there for just about a year. So I'm brushing my tooth, right? So that's the meaning of the toothbrush.
Yeah, but it went from one side to the other. It was like one solid tooth.
Yeah, it was like a mouthpiece. So anyway, I go get it taken off almost a year later, and that's why it was such a life-changing thing for me. It was like, man, number one, I'm 15 years old. How am I going to hit on chicks, right? Like, you were definitely not going...
Hey, Carlos, come and talk to me.
So I get the stuff taken off. My teeth look normal. Lasted for right at 8 years. Is that right? 8 years, yeah. Anyway, 2 weeks before my wedding, I'm managing a fine dining restaurant inside the Venetian. I sit down for lunch. I take a bite of this sandwich. Oh, holy shit, like it hurt. Like, what the hell's going on? Immediately, like, I've got to go to the dentist, right? Like, this is unreal. Sit down, the dentist, the ladies, they take x-rays. She comes in and she just goes, clink. She pulls it out with her fingers. And she's like, that's all you got? And I'm like, you don't understand. I've got a fucking wedding in 2 weeks. And she's like, oh, we're going to give you a flapper. Don't worry about it. And I'm like,
A flapper.
A fucking flapper? For real. A flapper. 2 weeks before my wedding? Really. So I get home and I tell Lisa, I'm like, hey man, not good.
Not good.
So I got my flapper in. She's like trying not to laugh. And she's like, just take it out. And I'm like, I'm not taking this out, man. Like, I am so self-conscious about this. She's like, no, seriously, take it out. So I'm like, clink, take it out. And she starts busting up laughing. And I'm like, fuck off. So yes, very life-changing for me. So now I got these things. So once I had my tooth pulled out and they put the flapper in, went back to the dentist and they actually had to put a bridge on. And so my teeth have never been this big. They were never that big. When they
put teeth inside your head that were too big for your head?
Yes, it was like, these fucking dudes put chiclets on me. And like, they snapped it in. They're like, what do you think? And I'm like, oh no. Like, this is not natural at all. Like, holy shit. I didn't sign up for this. And I blame this fucker.
Hey, you had a glove, bro.
You know
had
what?
to use a glove.
He never said sorry either. So I guess that's the best.
Hey, so Nate, here's your chance. If you ever wanted to say anything, what were you going to say?
I said,
catch the ball, bro.
Use your glove.
You know, even up until that point, right? Even from the T-ball stage to the Little League, right? He spent all those years learning how to catch with his eyes closed. And there are just some things that you can't teach. You know, you can't fix stupid.
It's all good, man. So anyway.
No, but you and Nate have been through some shit. And just to give Brent here some advice before he ruins his life completely, what would be
What do you mean, just by hanging out with Nate?
And you.
That's what I thought, too.
and you. Why don't you guys share some good stories, appropriate stories that you guys have had? One of the ones that I'm thinking of, dude, is...
You're talking Nate stories?
Well, no.
No, we're not talking about Nate stories.
Okay.
What I'm talking about is, I guess what I was leaning towards is Grandpa Montoya and you guys boxing.
Oh, man. That was like a daily thing. Nate and I have always been, obviously, we're the same age. And I think Grandpa Montoya always wanted us to fight. Because Nate and I were always pushing each other around.
You guys were like the fucking chickens in his roost.
Yes. And it was like...
But it wasn't just him.
No, it was Uncle Bubba.
Yeah.
It was all of us. It was like, let's watch these two get after it.
There was one point in our young 5-year-old careers that they set it up. We had one whole room cleared out. They had buckets in the corners. They had boxing gloves. They had Vaseline. They had the whole thing. Yep. And they even had the bell and ding ding, and we met in the middle and we slugged the shit out of each other.
Dude, Nate, it was the first time I've ever heard somebody call timeout because they had a sweaty butt crack.
Hey,
crack. He was like, timeout. I gotta go wipe my butt.
Dude, it was like UFC, bro. I got tired of pounding that ass for 10 minutes. You know? I whoop the shit out of you on a daily basis.
That's a smart move, really, if you think about it. Walking around with a chafed butt crack, that's not a good deal.
You know what? That's where it started, Chris. Is even 20 years later, right? I would make one subtle movement towards him. He was gone. He ran through the backyard, right through my screen door, and upstairs. So the intimidation factor has been there for 40 years.
So he had a house in Vegas, and he had a huge party, and
no, it was small. Small.
About 20 people there.
Yeah, we didn't have any boats, but we had plenty of
boats and hoes.
Yeah.
So, he was throwing people in the pool, and it was like, all right, dude, I'm tired of this. So it's my turn.
He was tired of it, but he stood up. He was like, "Come on,
oh yeah,
come at me, bro."
Plap, and dude, I got him, and he started running after me, and I took off running like, oh shit, he's gonna get me, and I did. I had
put the screen door on a week before, bro, brand new.
Poof, right through the screen door. I'm like, no.
and then little Lise, his wife, he's like, that stupid ass.
Dude, it was so funny. It was like, oh shit, man.
Yeah. So needless to say, he replaced my screen door.
Nowadays, obviously, those are days in the past, but the mining industry is kind of slowed you down. You're not the wild man you used to be. You're focused.
I never was wild.
Focused on your career.
I had a lot of good times, but I never was wild.
All right, well, let's wrap it up with Nate. Let's have a couple more conversations. I got a couple questions for you, Nate. This might be hit home on you, but I do want to know how you deal with it because I think there's other people that deal with it out there. You got a boy down in Southern Nevada, and you do your best to father him from a distance. What kind of role do you? What kind of father do you want to be to him? And I guess are you to him, and how difficult is it because he's what, 17 now? Diego's 17. How is that, man? Because I know there's a lot of people that do the same thing. They work away from their kids and want to be the dad that's there all the time, but not necessarily can be.
And I can't speak for everybody else, but all I can do is speak for myself. And one of the drivers for me is that I've always aspired to be the father that I never had. Like I said earlier, is my mother single-handedly raised all 5 of us kids, and I never really had a father figure aside from my brothers. So it's always been a driver for me to be the father that I never had, and I think between that and not only my son being an outstanding kid,
Great kid.
I've been able to, teach him since he was little, from T-ball to Little League, and help him grow in that nature. And fortunately, I've been blessed with the kind of kid he's grown up to be. He's an outstanding young man. He's got all the potential in the world. He's got passion and drive, and he's going to do big things.
Yeah, you can't coach that, man. He's definitely a special kid.
No, but I think that falls on the type of guy that you are, right? And so how do you step into a role that you don't ever know, you've never had any guidance to be that? You know what I mean? You don't know what that looks like. You just know that you have to be there. You don't know if it's right or if it's wrong or if it's good or if it's bad. You just know that you have to step into that role. And the reason I ask is because, dude, there's a ton of questions that I have, right? And I did have a good example. And for you, it goes, dude, this dude's nailing it. He's got a good son, good daughters, and he's making that progress. And he's not there because he's up in northern Nevada mining. He's not always able to be right next to him every game, right next to him every play. How do you do that from a distance, student? And I guess how do you do that as somebody that's never had that role model aside from your mother?
You have to be the supporting factor. You have to let him know what he needs to work on, what he needs to continuously do to get better. A lot of things up until that point, whether it's father-based, friend-based, supervisor-based, you don't always learn those things. You have to learn the hard way. You learn by your mistakes, your own self. And that's how you continually improve your children. I laugh, right? Because when he was little, I learned the hard way. Up until when I got to college is when you're playing baseball, somebody throws a fastball at you, curveball, whatever, you take it.
I did, right in the mouth.
yeah, you did. But you take it, right? It's free base. You don't ever give up a free base, and that's still something to this day that he's learned from me. Because I even with the wiffle ball, he'd 5 years old, he'd jump out of the way. And I said, that's not how it works on the field. Absolutely unacceptable. And every time he'd jump out of the way, I looked back, I was like, probably a little bit tough, but you know what? He learned, right? But at 5 years old, he'd jump out of the way, and I'd say, all right, man, that's not how it works. So turn around, face the wall, and I'm going to hit you in the back. And I did. I hit him in the back, and he still gives me a hard time about it. But I'll tell you what, I've watched him take balls after balls and get free bases. And
He's a ball player now.
Afterwards, I said, how'd that feel? He said, yeah, I learned the hard way. And the wiffle ball felt a lot better than these ones do, but he appreciates those little things, and just watching him grow into the young man that he is, and the passion that he has, and the drive that he has. If I can get him off Fortnite, it would be
That's not happening.
it would be amazing. But I do. I'd coach him. I send him motivational videos about being a shark and being out there, because that's what it takes these days. Is you have to be up at 3:00 in the morning, 2 steps ahead before anybody else to get to that point.
You gotta be willing to separate yourself for sure.
Don't get me wrong. I was joking around earlier. Bryce Harper, he does have a shitty attitude. I will tell you that. But the guy is good. Yeah. He's got a lot of potential. He's got all the ability in the world, but same time, you gain a lot more respect from anybody if you have the personality to go with it.
Sure. The song I always think about when I hear is, that Highway 20 ride?
Oh, yeah.
I always think about that, dude, because
Back in the day, it wasn't Highway 20, right? It was Highway 95.
yeah, and that's the connection I wanted to make. But it was, dude, I know you sacrificed a ton to be there for your boy, and not just your boy, your girls. You know what I mean? And everybody, few and far and in between, man. You've been there for me a lot of times. Thanks for the $35,000 face, by the way.
Actually, you were there for me that time.
Either way, it worked out. But my point is, dude, is there's a lot of dads out there that are in the same boat, and people that don't maybe step up, or people that do, and they feel like they're by themselves sometimes. And so I guess my point in the whole thing is we don't know what the fuck to do, dude. Sometimes it's taking wiffle balls in the back, right? To teach them a bigger picture. Sometimes it's just being there to throw the wiffle ball to them, and that's the important thing. And as you guys see in the mining community, that's what we're about. We're about hanging out, having a good time, trying to do the right thing. Do we have it figured out? Fuck no. Absolutely not.
Well, and that's the thing is we'll never have it figured out, right? And that's one thing. If there's one thing, a bit of advice that I can say is yes, there's a lot of us that are going through things in life on a day-to-day basis. There's some of us that live, from 30 minutes away from our kids to 6 or 7 hours away from our kids. And that's where I'm at, 5 hours away from my son. But at the same time, one way. But at the same time, that's got to be your driving force, is knowing the why, right? Why do you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning? Why do you get up and put in 12 hours a day? Why do you push yourself to do the things you do and to come home safe at the end of the day is whether it's your wife, your significant other, your kids, whatever the case may be, right? Utilize that as your driving force, and that's what helps you maintain that safe mindset, and the end result is being home and making it home to your family, and that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. And I think just recently we had a family member that probably didn't make it home the same way they went to work, right? Got his hand smashed in the engine compartment or something like that. And forever that'll be something.
Talking one of the mining community members?
Yeah. And that'll be something that our family close to home has to realize, right? Squeezing somebody, being able to throw a ball to them, the things that we take advantage of, and the way we try to do things. And I think that's...
But it's not even the things that we take advantage of. It's the things that we take for granted.
That's right. Probably a better way of putting it, yeah.
And it's those little things. It's the hands. Those are your lifelong tools, right? Your feet, same thing. And as much as we take those things for granted, we don't think about the effects that it could have long term, or it could have on everybody around us.
Yeah.
And we've all done it, right? Is the things we think about on a day-to-day basis, or it'll take me this much less time to achieve the same result if I do it this way instead of doing it the right way. And when we don't think about that stuff, we end up taking shortcuts, and we've all seen it, and that's where things end up going down the wrong path.
For sure, man.
But like I said, the most important piece is you have to always remember why. Why are you doing it? What matters most at the end of the day for you to take that extra 10 minutes and make the right decision?
Well, and I think you're absolutely right. There's that nobody applies the why. Like there's a freaking thing that I wrote on my tissue box on top of my truck, right? It's a thing that sits up there on my dash, and it says apply the why. If you don't explain the why to people, or if people don't understand the why, then we're lost in transition, man. Then we shouldn't be there. We shouldn't be doing what we're doing. You have to understand why you're doing the things that you do. So
Great.
Also, I think if we sat down and asked that question to somebody, they would probably give the why answer. And it's trying to get people to think that in the moment, right? Where it's like, hang on, maybe I shouldn't do this, or hang on, maybe I should stop for a minute. Because it seems like we've all done it. When we're there and we can get it done, and we can get it done a particular way, we'll do it. And it's that one time that we do it and get away with it, right, that leads the next time.
It does. It absolutely feeds it.
And I don't disagree with you, but to an extent I do, because it's almost taken me like 39 and a half years, right? To actually, to think about it, right, is really, do you know your why?
Yeah, I know.
Do you?
Yeah.
For sure.
But you don't.
that you get.
But and that's what I'm getting at, right? Is there's a lot of people out there that have never really gone through that thought process and said, "What is my why?"
It's a heavy thing to think about. That's why.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
what I mean?
And if you're insecure about it, dude, people don't want to think about it. People don't want to know the pressures that they have to be there for somebody else. And honestly, the same reason I probably haven't quit chewing, right? Is because it hasn't affected me right now, or it doesn't apply to me right now, or
It's affecting your waistline though.
oh, dude, that and the beers that I'm drinking. But my point is that I haven't truly invested in my why. And that's the reason I do the same silly shit I continue to do, is because I haven't truly. You might understand your why. I go to work for my kids. I go to work and be safe for my kids and my family and my wife. But at the end of the day, I don't apply that, or I haven't applied it to every.
Not 100 on is what you're saying.
No, and that's God's honest truth, man. And that's what I think we get caught in the trap, especially feeding success of, if I can get this done 10 minutes earlier, that looks good on me. You're feeding the wrong thing, right? And you're not truly invested in that why.
Hey, no, you're right. And I hate to throw a curveball out there, but I just caught something out of the corner of my eye. And really, I know we're in northern Nevada, but UNR right now is down by 9 to Utah State. Are you kidding me?
Fuck
right
you.
now?
I'm trying
Are
to
you
watch.
kidding me right now?
Listen, what is it? The first half?
Unbelievable.
Don't ruin this game for me, bro.
That's all right. Chill out.
At this point, I don't even know if it's a game right now. Utah State, really?
Dude, Utah State's on a bubble team, bro.
Yeah, they're playing their ass off.
They probably are. Can we get that game on here? I got Hulu, bro.
Anyhow, let's wrap this up with Nate Trujillo. Nate, we definitely appreciate you coming on.
Brent Adams, get your dicks up.
Yeah.
Brent Adams, get your dicks up.
Siltstone.
No, we appreciate you guys coming in, man. We look
Blood in,
forward
blood
to
out,
future
homeboy.
podcasts when you guys get some direction from
Brent.
where you're at.
Brent.
Where you're at.
From Brent.
That was fine.
Give us some direction.
That was fine. I might get fired over my podcast, but at least I had the balls to do it.
Yeah.
Hey,
He threw it
that's
out
the
there.
first time you've ever been able to say
But we
that.
we
Thanks for
definitely
coming
appreciate your
through.
guys' time, man. This is definitely invaluable to what Chris, Derek, and Jason are doing here. Please feel free to throw us out there. Is there anything that you guys wanna maybe throw out there as we?
Hold on real quick. SME, how was the conference?
Fucking awesome.
Was it?
It was great, yeah. It's a good deal, man.
So how do you sign up for those? Because you've never talked to me about that.
Is somebody talking?
Somebody talking.
Been trying to drag him out to an SME meeting for at least a year. No, it was good. And, the thing that we're trying to do, like I was talking on my podcast, trying to get people into mining.
Right.
Young kids, get them involved. It's a good fucking career. It's been great for me. And the big focus on SME, of course, it's a different level than what I personally try. I'm trying to get the skilled technicians and electricians. I'm trying to get
Your
guys.
end user, you're looking at end user in this.
Skilled labor, skilled labor type deal. The SME's more college kids, and it even goes as
I'll
far
flip
as
a college kid, bro. I don't. Before we had you on, we had a gentleman who was an attorney from Australia, and he came to be an electrician. Why? Because the cheddar was there. Yeah, and that's exactly it, man.
It's a good career, but no, the SME was awesome. Yeah, the company I work for, Komatsu, we hosted an event, and it was all for professors and students, and it was great.
Are any of you guys going to the 3M seminar that's here in town?
No, I'm not. I wasn't even aware of it. What's it about?
About tape.
It's about reflective tape.
Yeah, 3M. It's very similar to the same tape you've been using throughout the duration of this podcast. It's been over your mouth and you haven't said anything.
No, it's a pretty cool seminar coming up. They're going to talk about some different stuff. So throw that out there. We'll get on. We'll get on that. Old Nate wants to fucking chatterbox it up now. The shit talking has begun, so we better get off before anybody else gets in trouble. Hey, Mining Minds LLC, get your DS. Look up Nathan Trujillo, he's single. Brent Adams, he's single. Everybody's looking to mingle.
Watch out, muleys. Here comes the fellas to the scorecard.
Twitter, Snapchat, ladies.
Peace.
Later.
Adios.